Hey Moonbeams, and welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. And I want to say a special thank you to my subscribers and all of my new subscribers. I'm so grateful. Thank you for joining me. Today we have a very special guest. My friend Najia is back. This time I'm doing the interview, and today we are talking about Najia's life, what has inspired her, what her childhood was like, what she enjoys doing every day, and more. So stick around because it's coming right up. Hi, Najia. Welcome back to my channel. It's so wonderful to see you again.
Oh, it's always a delight to see you, Donna, Moongoddess. I adore everything about you.
Oh, it's like a mutual love that we have for each other. So
Yeah.
you do such amazing things on your channel. And everybody, speaking of that, I'm going to link her channel down below and everything else so you can find her. So tell me a little about what you like to do every day. Like, do you have any certain rituals that you like to perform on a daily basis or a weekly basis or anything like that?
Yeah, actually my daily one, it's kind of crazy that this would end up being my daily one is smudging myself with Palo
Wow.
Santo wood, particularly around my throat.
That is really great. I love to do that too, but I never really thought about particularly doing it
I
around
don't
there.
know, I feel like I have been drawn to work with my throat chakra lately, and I also do the back of the neck. I have like some severe injuries there
Oh,
that I can only bend two fingers. That's so I'm working on that to kind of heal that and just to send healing energy there. And also my throat and a little bit above the high heart. I can feel it. I feel myself change
as you're
inside.
using it.
Yeah, and I think being a quiet, like a very quiet, introverted child, um, my whole life and keeping everything inside, just holding it in, and now coming out on YouTube and sharing things that I've never shared with anybody yet, because they don't come up in normal conversation,
Right, right.
and they're not the typical party topics, or they're not the
Yes.
typical things you talk to people about, but they're things that are dear to my heart.
Mhm.
Yet I'm sharing them with potentially the whole world,
Right.
anybody could look in.
Yeah.
So I do this a lot,
That's
actually.
beautiful. I really love that.
I don't know if, and I mean, I think a lot of our viewers would know about Palo Santo.
I believe so too. Yep.
It helps get rid of negative energy, but it has the most incredible fragrance. It's a special wood. It's holy wood. And you have to be really careful when you buy it that it's ethically sourced and that they continue planting and you want to have a mature tree. So you have to do some research. But it's wonderful. That's one of my daily rituals.
Where do you like to get yours from? Like I've seen it at like Whole Foods and places like that, but
So I originally got because a huge amount because I run retreats and I give them away as gifts at my
oh,
retreats.
okay.
And I got them off of the Amazon. But then I found out about being careful. So when start running out, I still have a lot. I have
Okay.
hundreds to be able to. I had a lot of the retreats I was running up until the pandemic. Pretty much every week, mermaid
Right.
retreats and goddess retreats and
You,
dance retreats. And this kind of came in the welcome kit. And I still have a lot, but I have to go start researching where to get it.
where the
And by the way, if any of the viewers do know that, have any articles on that, please leave something in the comments section.
definitely make comments and leave us any information or just your experiences about it too. We'd love to.
Absolutely, your experiences with it, like how you love it, or if you've tried it recently. The other daily ritual that I do, I'm sorry, I'm
Is
laughing.
it okay for us to know?
It's totally fine, but it's very important to me, but you'll laugh. It's
Oh,
my
okay.
coffee. It's my coffee. I have a
Oh, do you know how many people have that one? So many. I'm not a coffee
I
drinker, but tea, I mean, it's the same kind of thing. Yeah.
I have to have my coffee to
Okay.
center myself. Now this sounds, and I have to have two kinds. I have to have Sumatra first.
Oh,
I can't, and then I have to have like a flavored one.
okay.
So now I have like a Madagascar vanilla type
You don't blend them. You just, it's like one is one and then the other one's the other. Okay.
one, and then the other. And then what I like to do, it doesn't happen every day, but it's a big deal for me, is taking some time out to have a gratitude journal with my coffee.
Oh, I love that.
But I like doing it outdoors. So what
Okay.
I'll do is even if it's winter, I'll put my coat on and I'll have my coffee and I sit outside on my front porch, which is really sunny. So even if it's snowing out, the front porch is fairly has like like a lot of sunlight. It's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll start to write what I'm grateful for. And I started doing this when I was feeling, really sad, going through some stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, Oprah always talked about how important the gratitude
Yes,
journal is, how it
yes,
changed her life,
yeah.
and I adore Oprah. And so I started doing that, and I worked with it. Like the first time I worked with it, I did it for like a good 2 hours. I wrote 10 things down, and I rewrote them 3 times because I heard there's like a power of three. I don't know where I heard that, or if it was Oprah or if it was somebody else.
Yeah.
And then I read them and I fully took them in. I read them 3 times. I read them over and I took them into me, like I digested my gratitude.
Yeah.
And I started out really, really sad. And after I digested each one, I would read each one and I would say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I would just take that in. And I would get on such a high after 2 hours, like a high. I don't
That's,
drink or anything. I don't drink or
I know.
anything.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That sounds
You know,
amazing. This kind of high is even better than any of that kind of stuff.
it
So,
It
yeah.
was amazing, and I was really stuck. So when I started this process, I was really stuck. I felt like no matter how hard I try, I'm hitting brick walls. I'm trying so hard. And I really needed, and I was looking at what I didn't like. I'm like looking at what I don't like in my life. And that's surrounding my whole energy field, right?
Yeah.
So by doing the gratitude journal, first off, I was grateful to have a moment to
Great. It
sit
sounds
on
like
my
a
porch
moment too.
in the
Like
sunlight. You know how hard it is to have 15 minutes to yourself sometimes and
sometimes
sip
you have to do it.
coffee. You
Yeah.
take care of other
Without
people.
interruptions, your phone
My
dinging.
phone, I'm always
Automatic.
taking, yeah, and for years I was taking care of other people constantly. And then I just was trying to carve out like even 15 minutes for myself just to sit in the sunlight. And sometimes like the whole day would go by. I'm like, I can't believe I didn't have 15 minutes to
No, I need
myself.
to.
What the hell?
Yeah.
And the next day would go, and the next day would go, like something would interrupt. I'm like, oh, this was my time to have
Yeah, that's a big part of self-care. We have to all carve
self-care.
out
Yeah.
a few minutes if that's all we have, just something. Yeah.
It's so important. So then sometimes I would have an hour and a half, 2 hours, not very rarely,
Yeah.
to really write everything out. Um, but other times, if I just grabbed my journal of pre-written things
Hmm.
with my coffee and sat out there and read a couple things, sometimes all I do is take my journal and hold it in my hand,
Hmm.
or I hold it against my heart and I sit
Hmm.
outside for even 5 minutes in the sunlight.
Wow.
And I hold my journal and I don't have a chance to write anything. Sometimes like, okay, the things come up, right?
Hmm.
Interruptions. But at least I took a few minutes or 15 minutes and I just went into that gratitude space because I have a lot to be thankful for. I still have a lot of things I battle with. I have a lot of like neurological things in my spine, and I'm a dance teacher, so it's very difficult when you can't always walk or do things all the time, do things normal people do to function or like
Yeah.
whatever. My body's kind of haywire, and I have to constantly work on that for the last, 30 years or something. But, um,
But this helps.
but yeah, and still I became a dance teacher, even
Yeah.
though I
That's
was told I'd be
amazing.
I know, even though I was told by 5 doctors I would be paralyzed.
I remember that. from
I was going through,
when we first
you met
met.
me when all that was going
Yeah.
on, all that
I
craziness.
was like, whoa, this woman's going. She's like, you know what? I'm doing what I'm doing. It's making me feel good. It's like, it's helping. Like, they don't understand. I'm just going to keep doing it. And you did. And
I
you,
trusted my inner
yeah.
guidance.
And that's good.
So my inner guidance was saying, no surgery, no surgery, do this. And I worked deep within my energy field to, because like sometimes my physical body doesn't want to move. Like it sounds crazy. I'm a dancer. I really dance well.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. You would think, how does she not function? Like I have good days and bad days depending on what's going on in my spine. But it's crazy. And then I can dance. Like I just can, like everything's aligned. It's fine.
Mhm.
And or I can dance through the pain and things. But what happens is, because sometimes I want to move my leg and it wouldn't move, and I want to move my hand, I couldn't feed myself, and I'm like, brain, move. And you're just like trying so hard to move something, and it wouldn't work.
Advantage, don't we?
I tell you, it's something. So I would get really into what I remembered as a child.
Hmm.
um I had to really pray a lot, and I had to tap in deep.
Yeah.
And I remembered a lot of the things I knew as a young child, and I started working with that, with the energy to move my body. So I tapped into this, I learned how to tap into the spiritual essence of what actually allows me to move, rather than
Amazing.
muscular skeletal,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, because clearly that's not all there is. Because when people pass on,
clearly.
like the body's still here, but nothing's.
It's our spirit. And then my dance became amazing after that, because as I worked with that, I worked with both simultaneously, because I was still learning as well. Even though I was a professional performer and teacher, I'm still always learning,
Yeah.
30 years later. But I eventually moved into just moving from spirit, and not from um, logical ways.
Right.
I teach that to my students because it's so beautiful, and it's also healing.
It really sounds like it. That sounds incredible.
Yeah, it's
Or
it's
they
one
have.
of yeah. So one of my daily rituals, or almost rituals, is dancing. Um, since I'm a child, because I grew up in a family where my parents loved to dance.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they would spontaneously dance in the kitchen.
Oh, I love that. That
Uh,
sounds so nice and it sounds really romantic too.
They were a very romantic couple. Um,
I love that. I love that.
yeah, if they shared a love of music. And I would often see them, like they would either like jitterbug, because back when they met, they were doing the jitterbug.
Yeah.
Would start jitterbugging in the kitchen,
Mhm.
and other times they would slow dance, country music, because they like that old country music. Um,
Oh, that's beautiful. I like that.
yeah, so I kind of grew up. The rest of my family, they don't really dance,
Okay.
but
Well,
my
yeah,
parents
not for
did.
everybody, I guess, like
Yeah,
other things.
yeah, but I felt that spontaneity to do that anytime I had a desire to move, because I love that. I love that, being touched by music, that it makes you just want to jump up.
Wow, yeah.
So dance is one. And I really spend a lot of, I mean, this kind of sounds, I spend a lot of time in nature as much as I can, either gardening, or I love to grow things, or I'm out on hike gathering wild medicinals.
Oh,
I work with a lot of
I
wild
was gonna say, I'd love to
medicinals.
hear more about that.
Oh yeah, I have so many favorites, but this is not so wild, but there is lemon balm. People can
Okay.
grow it in their garden. There's this lemon
Is that
balm.
where did you pick yours from your garden? Or out
I
there?
You
Did you?
can find it out in the wild, but then and you can, bring it back, and then I grow it in my yard all over the place.
Oh, yeah, that looks
So,
amazing. I'm
and
sure
then
it
I put some cucumber in it, but I love lemon balm. I'm sipping it in this, like, I don't drink, but I like it in a pretty
gorgeous.
cocktail glass.
Yeah. Yep. It makes you feel different when you drink out of something that's beautiful, as opposed to just
Oh my
like
God, of
regular
course.
cup. And it's just like it's kind of like a ritual in itself, and just a
That's
very
a ritual. So if
yeah,
I guess I could turn
energy is
my
different.
camera. Should I turn my camera around so you could see my dining room
Yeah,
table?
I'd love to.
Let's see if this works. Let's see.
Okay.
I can hold it and then
Najia
see.
skin is so gorgeous. I love seeing
So
everything.
I love like everything pretty, pretty. And
Yes,
that's kind of,
very, very.
yeah. Let me get my camera back.
Okay, thank you for showing us. That was really nice.
But yeah, I have a ritual of being connected to the plant world, whether and I cook a lot. So, oh, by the way, so the lemon balm, I was so happy to find some because the weather finally got a little cooler,
Yeah.
like the really hot, hot summer weather. So it's a spring plant, but then
Okay.
you can find it in the fall again because it kind of dries out in the summer. It doesn't like the
Yeah,
heat.
it's too hot for in the summer. Okay. Wow, I didn't know that.
But lemon balm is amazing. I was always making these. I usually serve them in
Pretty. Yeah.
a big punch bowl at
Okay.
my retreats, and I'll do lemon balm and cucumber or mint and cucumber. And at one of my retreats, I had made a lot of lemon balm infusion, and I forget. I think I just had lemon balm. Oh, I had lemon balm honeysuckle, but
Oh, wow, yeah.
and I had, and I'll do stuff with rose petals because I have the honeysuckle and the rose petals growing in my backyard, but I'll do all different things. And I was drinking some of the lemon balm, and I noticed, like, this was when I was grieving the death of my mom, and I had really taken care of her. She like was my permanent house guest for
Yeah.
about a year and a half, and then she had to go to the hospital and eventually, go to like a nursing home because I they
Got too
wouldn't let
hard.
my
Yeah.
family take care of her unless we had a live-in nurse,
Right.
um, and the right setup,
Yes. Yeah.
So
That's hard.
that was another issue, like a bathroom downstairs, wheelchair accessible, and all that. So when she passed, and then I was really feeling the death of my dad because I never had a chance to grieve for him, and so I'm feeling it all at once.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was drinking the lemon balm mixture, and I was really, depressed. I was really feeling the loss, and I would feel amazing after I drank the lemon balm, and I'm like, what's
Hmm.
going on with this lemon balm?
I gotta see more about what this stuff does. Yeah.
I just knew it tasted well, and I knew it's also, I had read that in medieval times they use it to get rid of wrinkles.
Oh.
They do different mixtures for the
No. Yeah.
facial, and people drink it because it's supposed to help your skin. But I kept noticing that. So then I did some research and I found out it's actually a cure for depression and anxiety.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that is excellent to know because over this past like year and a half, a lot of people have
A
been
lot of people.
not so good. So go out and get some lemon balm.
Yeah, and you could, if you, no, this time of year where we live in the Philadelphia area, um, it's going to get cold out and it's going to freeze over. But you could get a plant of lemon balm if you can find it, and then do one of those grow lights. You can get those
Good idea. Yep.
grow lights because you can grow a lot in the
Oh,
winter.
I might have to do that myself. That
I
sounds
love the grow lights. Yeah.
fabulous.
uh, so I also want to tell you about the lemon balm. Not that I just found that research, but months later, I was cooking in my kitchen,
Mhm.
and a show came on called it was a garden show on public radio, and I forget what it's called now, but it's these. Oh, I'm sorry. I think it might be called "You Bet Your Garden." I'm not really sure, but
Okay.
they had a wild medicinal guest on, and this woman spoke all about lemon balm
Wow.
and how it's the only FDA approved wild medicinal that for depression and anxiety. That even St. John's wort doesn't is not FDA approved for treating
Right.
depression and anxiety, even though a lot of people buy it for that.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, so lemon balm is FDA approved. And they said also all citrus helps. So if you can't find lemon balm, the FDA did do studies that say all citrus.
Hmm.
So this is not a citrus, I mean, it's a citrus flavor, but there's
Right.
something about the smell of citrus and
Yes.
the taste, they're not sure. But even oranges, they said oranges and lemons and different citrus
Yeah.
plants. I can't remember all of them, but you could look it up. Google is
Yeah.
your friend.
Absolutely. Yep.
Um, they said, yeah, it does help to some degree, but lemon balm is very, very strong. And I gotta say, yes, it is. Now, you can also buy a tincture where some wild medicinal people,
Yep.
where we both like wild medicinals, we go out in the forest and we you can soak things in different
Yeah. I love.
alcohols or things and then make a tincture for medicine. It doesn't taste great like this when you infuse it in the water
Right.
overnight,
Mm-hmm.
fridge, or for like 6 hours in the fridge. It tastes amazing. It's lemony,
Mm-hmm.
has a beautiful aroma. I don't even know exactly. It's lemony, but not lemony. It's almost a little on the hints, a slight hint of floral. It's so beautiful.
Wow. That sounds
Yeah.
amazing. I'm definitely gonna try that for sure.
Yeah, so one of my rituals is having, not on a daily basis, but whenever I can, I work, with the plant world and have infused waters or
Hmm.
special teas that I grow or my friends grow. I don't like manufactured things. I like really being in touch with the earth physically,
Hmm.
putting my hands in the dirt,
Yes.
putting things in the wood.
That
You
too.
know, I love making a lot of pesto for my garlic mustards,
Mm.
and I like working with mugwort. Do you know about that? Will help you
Astral
remember your
travel.
dreams.
Yeah, and I heard
For
space.
astral, I guess astral travel it helps.
Yep. Yep.
Um, I've kind of stayed away from astral travel because
Previous experiences.
well, I did it a lot as a child.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about more about your
Wonderful. Oh
childhood.
yeah, you want to ask me how I got started with all that?
Yeah, I'm curious about that. And you did mention your childhood earlier, just like your experiences and what things maybe that you remember as a child that maybe could have led you on the path you are today. Or I don't
Yeah, when I was small and I say toddler, I remember I remember my childhood back to the time I was 1 years old and living in a different house. Like I have a really good long-term memory, not
know.
short-term.
Yeah, that's not, you don't hear about that with a lot of people. Yeah, I
Oh
have
God, yeah, I
I have
have a lot of
friends.
memories at the age of one
Yeah.
because we lived in West Philadelphia then, and I remember what the house looked like. Oh, all this stuff.
Wow.
My sister, what she was doing, and all this craziness. The chair I sat on, and she stole my favorite chair away from me, and stuff like that. I have like,
That's
and so I have all these memories. And then when we moved to the house in the suburbs, um, I just remember. And then we were inundated with a lot of neighbors, and there were parties. And I would just remember feeling like it was very hard for me to stay inside my body. Like I had a hard time keeping my consciousness in my body. I would kind of function right here.
yeah.
And if people spoke to me, I'd have to like,
Kind of get
I'd
back
have
in.
to kind of get back in and speak. It was really weird, but I was in two places at once,
So interesting.
and I was a really old person in a little baby body.
Hmm.
And I knew that.
Hmm.
Like I was very aware of that, very aware. And I had all this wisdom from the other side. I'm not sure, it was another realm.
Right.
It felt like it was above here and more sparkly, more magical, mystical, more instant manifestation. Um,
Wow. That sounds
and you could, I mean, I used to do this thing. Uh, called Counting the Colors. And I'll talk more about that, how I learned about the chakras as a toddler
great.
and didn't know it was called chakras till the age of 30. But I used to bathe myself in each color because you mentioned astral travel.
Yeah.
And I had this method, and I don't even know why I did it. And I used to call it counting the colors.
Mm.
And I would start with red, and I would go red, red, red. I was just like a little kid going red, 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 red. I would lie down. Sometimes I would do it standing up, but most of the time I would lie down on the grass
Oh, what a
and
yeah.
cover myself in my consciousness with red light. Then I would progress to orange, and I would go orange, 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 orange. And I would just bathe, and I would calm myself down that way. Because I found it really hard to live here. Like I felt like I don't belong.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing on this planet? It's pretty. Nature's beautiful. Thank God there's kitty cats in
I
the
know. Yes.
backyard.
Yes. Yeah. We have a lot in common because I was, yeah, I continue, but I know just where you're coming from.
And then I would go yellow, 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 and go through all the chakras colors, but I would just call it counting the colors. I didn't know what chakras were. I called it counting.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'd have to get to the higher chakras before I lift off, and I would fly, and I would have this whole navigation way to balance myself and travel. I wasn't allowed to go too far. I was a good kid. So I just go to other people's backyards and
Oh, and how
watch
old were
other
you
kids.
during this time?
Huh?
About how old were you when you were doing this?
Like, I was doing it very young, and then it was one of the few things I remembered when I had the major forgetting as I was turning 4. Because I did it so much, I remembered it after I had this major forgetting, and I knew I was forgetting. And I would ask other kids, like I said, were you doing this and this at this time, today, were you like, in the pool with so and so, and were you doing such and such? And
Oh,
they would say yes. So then I knew I actually went
you
there.
did it. Yeah.
And I would tell my mom, but she didn't want to hear about it. She's just like, oh
Did
well.
you did you think she was afraid, or she just thought you're being silly, or what do
She
you
just thought I was being silly. I don't know. I mean, I would. It was so important for me to share all kinds of knowledge with her before I forgot.
right?
And around so in this one summer, I would I knew I was forgetting everything. So I had all this knowledge, deep knowledge about how the universe functions. And I also had a lot of warnings. I mean, I'm a toddler, but I'm being told not to use basically what we call magic, and like um I maybe misused it in the past. I'm not sure. It's not for this realm. Like be
Yeah.
like this is
Okay.
not for this lifetime for you. And so I had a lot of problems trying to figure out, well, every spoken word is a spell in a sense,
Yep. It is.
right? So I kind of would just like, I was
Like,
so afraid of power.
yeah.
I felt like even praying, well, then after I would pray a lot, I'd be like, well, aren't prayers the form of magic? You know? And so I went through this whole thing until a few years ago where I really felt comfortable with, I guess, my own sense of self and power because I dulled it down all my life,
Right.
because I'm afraid to violate anything,
Yeah.
uh, especially getting into a lot of spirituality, as more traditional forms of spirituality.
Mhm.
Studying Hinduism, Buddhism, of course, growing up Catholic. I didn't want to violate anything. But then I realized the difference because also you don't want to create by default. Like if you're in a negative, depressed mindset,
Right.
you're
Yeah.
also creating by default, and that's no good,
No. No.
right? Then
Right.
you're just creating, a life of being a victim.
Yeah. Stuff. Yeah.
Been there, done that. Don't no good.
Exactly right.
And so then I learned what you really need to do and what is always good and pure is to make your light shiny bright, to
Mhm.
draw from your own well, your own source, right? Not to manipulate an outer source,
Right. No.
to draw from your own well and make yourself as bright as possible for the world.
Yes.
right? And then whatever comes to you that you happen, you can identify what you like because you're like, okay, you acknowledge, I like this.
Yeah.
I like when people treat me respectfully, or
Yes.
I like, being surrounded by beauty or whatever, or I like when people bring me delicious food.
Right.
Because that's what happens to me. I'll be like, and then people bring me delicious food or give me pretty things that they're done with, and then I pass them on to others because I always like being able to, you know, continually giving, and I haven't, let me explain it. I guess it's so great. I haven't been able to give physical things, buy things for people lately because of all the changes in my
Everything.
life. So
Okay.
it's the weirdest thing, and I love giving.
Yeah.
I love
That's
it.
really good.
It does, right? And then the weirdest thing is like ever since this, I acknowledged that somebody gave me things like, and they said, "Oh, I know you have a lot of events or you know a lot of people, and if you want to give them out to people," and that started. And then I was like
Yeah.
sending gratitude for that and thinking that, and I'm like, "Oh, I love when people give me things, and then I have something to give."
Right. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, it's beautiful.
And then we have these shares, so, and it keeps happening, and I keep sharing things with people, and
Yeah. Because
I
you're
have,
you're drawing it in, like by saying, I love doing this, so then you just get more to do.
yeah, and I'm not like saying it must come my way, but like the other night I had an event in my Magic Cottage. I call it the Magic Cottage because
Nice name. I
this
like
little girl who visited me named it the Magic Cottage. It's my old garage,
it.
and I transformed it into this beautiful space where
Oh,
we have all open air because of the garage doors up and the doors are open. And I made it into a beautiful, like shabby chic meets Martha Stewart dining room.
oh,
And we have vegan potlucks there. So we had that. And I had all these someone had given me all these perfumes. And
oh,
I gave them out like little bottles.
yeah,
Because people give me stuff, and
yeah.
then it made everybody so happy. They were like, "Really, for me? I could have," like, yeah.
Oh,
I have enough for everybody. I know you can have another one. Okay, we still have more for everybody.
wow.
And it was like they needed that. You could tell people they needed something to uplift themselves. Yeah, and so okay, I'll go back to being 3 years old, turning 4.
Okay.
All right, because this is when I had the big forgetting. And I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew, and it would happen in the morning until about lunchtime every day for months.
You got the timing and everything. That's so interesting. I've
It
heard of
was
that happening to young children, and
it was heartbreaking. I was crying. I was sobbing, weeping in my driveway. My mom would be on the phone in the house doing whatever, and she had me like we had these Graceland gates, whatever that my dad made, and
wow.
so I wouldn't wander off, and then I'd be out there like when it would happen, I'd be like out there crying for an hour straight, just sobbing like I knew, and I could feel it being pulled out of me, and it was horrible. It was horrible because it was a huge part of myself, of my being, and I felt like I'm being dumbed down.
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah, I can imagine that. I'd feel the same way.
And I hated it. I hated it. I was so in grief. And I mean, I don't know. It happened over the summer. It might have been a 2-month period, it might have been a 3-month period. And I mourned it every day in tears. And sometimes I'd be in my bedroom crying, and I was trying to explain it to my mom. I didn't quite have the vocabulary, right? So I was at an age where I could speak
Mm-hmm.
and try to convey things, but she didn't really think, she thought I was being silly.
Like, get it? Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
And there's very few things I retained. I knew about what people call chakras and astral travel. I retained some of that.
Yeah.
And although I didn't astral travel again as and I knew how to read aura. I mean, I auras were big. Like I didn't even know it was that people couldn't see them until I was a
Right. You
teenager.
think everybody's like you. You're like, oh, okay, yeah. You just thought it was normal.
And then people just thought I was weird. I'm like, well, we're talking about shadows. We're looking at shadows. I go, what about the other colors around?
Yeah.
And I was, talking
Like
about, oh,
every
she's got
color.
all this glowing, whatever, whatever. And they're like, what's wrong with you? Are you high? And I'm like, no, I'm not high. What? What are you talking about? The colors. We're talking about the shadows. And what
Like,
about the colors?
aren't you
The glowing
looking at
lights.
what I'm looking at? Yeah.
And so then I felt like an oddball. And then this really nice girl, I didn't really know her too well. She pulled me aside and she said, "You're seeing auras." And she told me how to spell it.
Oh,
And I went and she goes, "Look it up in the library."
yeah.
And I looked it up in the library in my high school, which was surprised me because it was a Catholic high school.
Right. And then have some about words. Wow. Well, like, go ahead. I'll wait.
And then I found out that I don't remember if I found out then or found out later. I think I found out later that you can photograph the aura with Carillion photography.
I have one of those. Yeah, I got one of those. It's really cool.
What? Wait a minute. You
Uh,
have the device to photograph it?
no. I didn't. I'm sorry. I have one of the pictures from the device. Yeah, they're pretty
Oh,
expensive.
you got it done.
Yeah, I got it done. Yeah.
Yeah, so I used to see auras up until the time my spine got injured,
Oh,
and I
really?
saw them all the time.
Oh, no.
And then if I wanted to kind of change my focus, I would see them more vividly. Or if I kind of got bored. Let's say
Yeah.
I got bored. Like let's say I'm in school and I'm bored. And then everything would kind of go into like watching all
Yeah.
the auras around people in the classroom and the
Around
teacher.
plants too, like
The
plants and trees.
plants.
Mm-hmm.
The
Beautiful.
plants. And now I could still see them, but I have to kind of
Concentrate more or concentrate.
I have to be calm, number one,
Oh, yeah, that's important. I'm sure for a
and
lot of
kind of change my focus but something got damaged when my spine got damaged with that. It just really took away the constant vividness of it. I
people.
don't know what that connection is.
I don't know, but I guess our spine does kind of go up into.
Yeah,
That's interesting. What I was gonna say before, because you were mentioning it, that information being in like a Catholic school library, but I was like, people always paint Jesus with his aura, like he's always got
that's right.
glow around him, so why not? Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
all of them, like his mom, like him as a baby, like there's always that, and I believe that's the aura.
Absolutely. Yeah, and he might have glowed so bright and people who had the sight to see would see it every time he walked in.
Yep,
Some
and
people
everything
glow
else is
shiny
so
bright.
far.
They glow shiny bright, grow shiny bright. Yeah, so we all have our light. I mean, I was trying to talk to somebody about a spiritual phenomenon, psychic phenomenon, and saying, we all see it. We don't realize we see it.
Yeah,
One of the things, the examples is, I was talking about, I've watched my parents pass away. And I held my mom's hand. I would sing to her when
yeah.
she was dying, some of her favorite songs.
Uh-huh.
And and then I was with my dad when he passed. Actually, I wasn't actually in the exact room. I was behind glass because there was a family drama going on. And then what happened was he passed and they said, "Oh, he passed away now." The machine flatlined everything.
Right.
And I'm looking through the glass and I'm like, "Oh, darn so and so. I wanted to be holding his hand and touching him when he passed because I just love my dad so much and I was so mad." I was so mad. I was like, "No, I wanted to be there at that moment as he crosses."
Yes,
It
yes.
would meant a lot to me, but there was like family drama going on.
Mm,
And
yeah.
and then what happened was, and they said, "Oh, he passed. Everyone can come in the room now." And then I'm talking to his spirit, and he had gone all like alabaster,
Right.
and he was like he lost that life force, and you could see the
Yeah.
life force leave,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Everyone knows what that looks like if you've seen
The
someone.
eyes, it's just
That's the light
something
within.
different. Yeah. Yep.
So I talked to him from inside. I'm like, "Dad, I really wanted to be touching you when you cross over. I'm so, I just I go, that was so important to me. I don't know if you understand, but it was so important to me. And
Yeah.
he jumped back in his body,
Oh,
and
you could do it?
I
Oh,
could see it. And then, and I said to the doctor, I said, he's not dead. He just came back in his body. He's not dead. And then
and
the
then the
machine
machine.
showed he was alive. And she goes, okay, he's not ready yet. And I got a heartbeat. Then she checked his heartbeat. She goes, I got a heartbeat back. It was really dim.
So did you hold his hand?
Yeah, I just, I like here, I touched him and all. Um,
Oh my
and I
God.
was just so thankful to have. And then after about, I mean, it took another 10 minutes before he really left, but he stayed in there longer for me. He
That's
came back in.
cool.
He heard me. So I knew he would hear me again if I talked to him in the,
Yeah.
I knew he'd be there. And also before he died, like the night before he died, the weirdest thing was I saw my mom's stepmom. Like her mom died when she was young.
Oh.
And I'm not a medium or anything, but I didn't see her. I just explained I saw her energy
Yeah.
because I can see energy.
Yeah.
And then it made this imprint that, grandma knew she was in the room and she was visiting my dad. And I go to my mom, I go, grandmom's in the room, but not his mom, your mom, that raised her. And I go, what's going on? Why is she here?
Yeah.
And and I didn't know. Isn't that interesting how the light
Yeah,
just
I was just gonna say that. Like, all this light is on the side of your. Wow.
just at that moment we're talking about light coming
Yes.
from the body.
Wow.
So I said, she's here. She's here right now. And this is not something I ever experienced, by the way. I'm not a medium. Okay.
Okay.
And she was there for maybe 20, 30 minutes the night before. And she was communing with my dad in some way. I couldn't hear it, but I knew that there was an
You could feel it.
exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it energetically, which is hard to explain. But and my mom said, your dad was really close to grandmom. He would visit her almost every day when he was working. He would stop because his place of work was about 3 blocks from her house, and he would go in and visit her and check on her.
Wow.
And she goes, they're both cancer signs, and they were very close.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad was quiet, so I didn't know. I know he was always really good to her, but I didn't know that they were close, that they had a special relationship.
Oh wow.
And then she came. So anybody that thinks that they can't see light, you all see light. When someone passes, that light leaves
Yes.
the body, that
Yes.
animates everybody. Or if you're your pet, you know, if we've all had to put down very sick pets, a lot of us, it's really
Yes.
hard.
A lot of us have. It is.
Yeah. So you can see the light. And I think being an artist, because I'm also an illustrator. I mean, I'm a photographer, illustrator.
You do
I
lots,
do
a lot of creative stuff, and you're so
Yeah,
good at it too.
I
So
think,
good.
yeah, when you're an artist or even psychic, you're open. You're just open. And it doesn't mean like you have to, and you eventually become really good at your craft, but you have that connection to spirit and you open to it and you're a channel to bring things through. But I could show you like if you change your focus, like as an artist, we have to change our focus to see light. We have to use our eyes in a different way than we use typing. So, like if I type, I'm like, no, 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 a certain way. Or if I look at you, I look a different type of focus. But if I'm trying to draw something and study light, that takes like another part of the brain and eyes, and you can feel a pullback and you
Yeah.
can feel a focus forward. You use your brain and your eyes like kind of like the phone, like it has a brain in
Yeah.
a sense and it has lenses
Mhm.
and they change. I
Yeah.
could show
Like
you. I could show you, like, I'll show you one of my drawings. Let me go and get a drawing, and you'll see, like, how somebody has to study light. It's like, get this. I don't know if this will show on camera,
Hopefully.
but this is a drawing I did of my niece.
Oh, yes.
It's a pencil drawing.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit, it's beautiful.
It's kind of blurry in the
Yeah, it's just a reflection from other light, but we can see it. Okay, yeah, like right there, yeah.
You can see how, like, if to draw realistic like that,
light and the shadows.
I'm gonna put this down.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous drawing. I'm sure it's a lot of
I haven't done anything like that in a while because of my injuries. Like, I did have hand surgery a couple of years ago, and now I'm trying to avoid the next surgery so I can draw again.
Yeah.
But working on it.
And sending love and light to you for that.
Love and light. I'm just working on my energy, like bringing all the healing energy and working with the chakras. We could talk about that next time, what I do with dance, with the chakras.
Yes, that I am extremely interested in that.
Because I'm a belly dance teacher, but then everyone's like, well, can you do some of that chakra stuff? I'm like, absolutely. I'll do it anytime anybody requests. We'll do the chakra energy with our dance. I'm really happy to teach that.
Powerful and beautiful, I'm sure, with the colors.
But a lot of people think it's it is kind of mysterious, the spiritual stuff, or people get like thinking, oh, it's maybe even demonic or whatever. I thought so too. I got scared of all my abilities.
Oh yeah.
Throw away the books. I would see energy. I'd be like,
world we live in, a lot of
Catholic stuff.
Yeah.
I'd be scared that I see auras. Because I thought it was normal, like seeing shadows. Then I thought, oh my God, I'm different. It's like this other thing in my possessed by demons, but I'm a nice person. What's good? You're just you're young and you're scared and you're all like, our demons are following me and making me see energy and see things around people and plants and stuff. I don't know. I got scared about it all,
I understand. Yeah.
Oh my God. But I'm having so much fun talking with you. We could talk forever.
Yes, it's so great. You were saying how you were going to next time in our part 2 talk about your chakra dance and all that.
I will. In part 2, I will talk about the chakra dance. But what I wanted to convey with people was, okay, so as an artist, I have to study light, and as human beings, we're capable of so much more, and it's not all like, I don't know, out there for other people. Like woo-woo. It's not all woo-woo stuff. I mean, it's just a matter of training your eyes and your brain, right? Knowing it's there and then being receptive to it. It's just another part of your brain and your eyes that you're using. Because I see all kinds of energy. Like, I'll see the chakra energy, like all the little things spinning, and get messages from it for people that they think I'm psychic, but I'm like, I know nothing about your life. I'm just reading this block of energy and it's telling me to do this. And they would I said, I really don't know as much as sounds like I know, but this is what I'm getting. And it would help change them. So I could see those blocks of energy. I see the aura sometimes not as strongly as before, and then clairaudient and clairvoyant, all this stuff, sensory. I have so many smell. Some people come to, so the only mediumship thing I really do is get sense from people when they visit me.
Okay.
I wish I got messages more.
When you say you get sense, what do you mean? Like, you can, I mean, I know what scent is, but like, can you tell something about a certain way that they smell or something?
Yeah, I get their scent that they can't. Yeah, it comes in the room and I'm like, what is that? Why is it here? And they're visiting me. I guess it's just a little hello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I know exactly what you're talking about. At first, I thought you meant like people physically when they come see you and they have a certain smell. Okay, I've had that happen before. It's been a little while since it happened, but I've had that happen before. And
and I just pay attention to it and I just acknowledge and say, thank you so much for caring for me and visiting me.
Hi, kitty. I thought that was good at first.
Yeah.
I was like, he's sleeping.
Yeah, so I think what I'm trying to do with my channel, I mean, I teach so many things, my channel originally started out as a lifestyle channel, because not everyone could come to my retreats.
Yeah.
Not everyone could afford to stay in a hotel and this and that. But I wanted to share everything I have on my retreats with people. And then it got difficult to maintain that, just a lot of time and like, oh my God, how do I make a livings too?
Yeah.
And then I found out you can make a living on YouTube to some degree if you narrow your focus.
Yeah.
And you get 1,000 subscribers and you get 4,000 watch hours.
Yes. It sounds
And
so
eventually
daunting.
YouTube will maybe pay your light bill. That's what I'm trying to like. I think both of us are like, please
Yes,
just pay our Pico
absolutely.
bill.
So be sure to like this video, speaking of
Like the
that,
video and
and
subscribe
subscribe
and
to both
watch
of
it
our channels.
through. Watch
Yes,
it through and
watch the whole thing so you don't miss anything.
yeah, so then I decided what's really important. I said intuition, and then I have a tarot teacher, Joyce,
Hmm.
from All Knowing Tarot, and she's like, "You got to do the tarot on your YouTube. You got to do the pick a card." So she's like, "Girl, look at these other pick a card readers. They're getting like 100,000 subscribers, and you got a beautiful. Oh, stop that! A beautiful
That's
voice
okay.
when you do your." Because I talked about crystals and recipes and things like that, and anyway, I she said you got to do that.
Yeah,
And
and it's so beautiful, you guys. Like the way she has her setup and everything, it's absolutely gorgeous. You're gonna feel like you're in I don't know, another beautiful world that you just want to stay in. It's so
yeah,
pretty.
I love styling things and making things pretty.
So
Thank
good at
you.
that. Yeah, so good at
But then lately, when I contacted you, uh, I just I thought I just really want to talk about things people don't talk about, and we've known each other 30 years.
that. Yeah.
But we have never talked about any of this
No,
stuff.
we haven't. Like, how does that even happen? And I've been to visit you several times, and we've done
Yeah.
like went to events together and all
Yeah,
kinds
we've
of
done
stuff.
events, we've danced together. Oh my God.
Yeah.
All the years we've known each other. And then I see her with her being a moonologer and relating to the moon like I do. And I'm like, I do moon rituals. And in fact, I'm doing a moon ritual workshop next month, like what I do for the full moon release.
Okay.
I do some different things, so they're kind
Yeah.
of
That's
not
great.
the norm.
Yeah.
Some of the norm
Are
and
you
some
gonna
different.
ever record that, or is it something that? How do you? Is it? Do you do it by yourself, or do you have people over?
I do it on Zoom. I'm going to teach
Oh,
people
okay.
on
Okay, that's
Zoom.
perfect.
Yeah.
You guys can.
I just want to show people what I do for the new moon and what I do for the full moon. Those are the only two moon rituals I do
Being
are
on.
moon and full moon.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't do it every month, but I try.
Hmm.
And I do different things.
Yeah, I love that.
Different things. I mean, I like to do them all, but
Hmm.
I'll share some of the things I do.
Okay.
But what was I saying just now?
Right. We get so excited to talk about this stuff. We get so get off
Oh
track.
yeah, so I just wanted people to I wanted to share what I do.
Hmm.
And I said, well, what's really important is like I really want people to tap into their intuition,
Yeah.
their inner being, and I also tap into nature, crystals, the cards, like look for symbol. I love symbolism. I'm always looking for symbols in life.
Yeah.
I'm looking for hidden messages. I'm looking into for answers and looking for truth. And I just wanted to kind of talk about that and let it feel a little bit safer and more normal because I went through a lot when I was young, going back and forth with it, burning books, burning my astrology books, burning my palmistry, burning my tarot card. You know, I
Yeah.
feel so bad. You know what I burned? A Yogananda book. I mean, a revered Indian saint because I got freaked out by the Catholic thing
No.
and I feel so bad I did that. This beautiful Indian saint. You know, this is how freaked out you get. You don't
Yep.
trust your inner being. And I think now everybody's kind of tapped into the fear. We get hit by the fear in the amygdala in the brain, and there are certain things that work on the fear centers, and you don't even go into who you are
Right.
and what your wisdom is. And we need more wisdom. We need people connecting to their inner wisdom.
Hmm. And being their true selves, because we each come to this planet, I believe, with something to offer. Like and learn about ourselves, which is unfortunately why I believe that we forget. It's kind of so we can, like, we forget and like relearn and know more. But for what I don't know why it has to be that way, but
The forgetting is hard. Maybe there's just too much to take on, and there's a lot of sorrow if we remember a lot of past life stuff. There's a lot of sorrow and fear, so maybe that's good. Although I didn't remember. I've had some past life dreams and experiences, we'll say, waking experiences, but when I was young, I didn't remember my past life per se. I wasn't identifying it as a past life. It was more like another realm
okay, I love
above this.
that. Okay,
Maybe like a holding place we are before we're human that
yeah,
um
okay,
maybe it's astral realm, I'm not really sure.
maybe.
And sometimes I go there and it's very I mean, even after I had my forgetting, and it's like it's very similar to here. There is nature, but it's very sparkly. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie, I think it's like When Dreams May Come. It's
What
a
dreams?
movie with
What?
Robin Williams.
Yeah, I think it's called What Dreams May Come. And I haven't seen it in a long time. I think it sounds like one I need to rewatch because
A good
time
movie.
goes by and then you learn things and you evolve and then you go back and look at something and then you're like, okay, I didn't get that like that before. Or I didn't get it at all. And now I see they were trying to say this or whatever. Yeah, so I have to check that out again.
Yeah, it's a great movie because his wife dies and he's, very depressed. I think she commits suicide, right?
I think so. It's starting to come back to me now you're talking about it.
And
Yeah,
then he dies in a car accident, maybe? I'm
I'm
not
not sure.
sure.
I almost want to look it up
Not
right
by,
now.
not
So
by, he dies, but not by suicide. And he realizes he goes to rescue his wife from hell because
okay.
whatever you think about, you manifest. And whatever you think about before you die, you manifest. So very important. Not that there's judgment on suicide because you feel the love from the creator, but it's whatever's in your consciousness, that's where you go in life and beyond. But you have less freedom. We have a lot of freedom here. It is difficult
Do. I
on
do.
planet Earth, right? Being human,
It is.
but we have a lot of freedom of choice.
Yes, we do.
Things happen very fast,
Hmm.
right? There's a lot of polarities.
Yep, there's always a choice. Sometimes we don't think there is, but there is.
Yeah, but then he's in his like heavenly realms or other realm, and everything looks like I've seen in my visions or waking visions
Mm-hmm.
and dream visions. That it's like Earth, but like the plant life is sparkly.
Wow, that sounds gorgeous. I love sparkling.
Yeah, and I remember that a lot when I was young, and it's clean, like it's really clean. Like when I came to Earth, I remember that I was such a snobby little
Like it's dirty here.
toddler. I drove people crazy. I, oh, I was everything that felt dirty. I mean, dirt didn't feel dirty,
Right, yeah.
that's
Yeah.
earth, but like other things, like anything dirt, like sticky. I was not a sticky child. Let's just put it that way. I was not your
That's
typical sticky
amazing because
toddler.
when you think of kids, you think of sticky.
No, I could not bear it.
Okay.
Anything that was unclean, I would drive my parents crazy. And I hate to say it, when I could speak, I drove waitresses crazy.
Oh,
We went to a restaurant. I feel
what
so
would you
bad. There's
say?
dirt, there's dirt on the floor. It's like, oh, I would have like, I found it unbearable. I was really super sensitive to smells. I still am.
Okay. Yeah.
It's overwhelming. I'm super
Yeah, it can
sensitive
be though, the
to
smell.
sound, and still I'm super sensitive to any loud noises.
Mm.
Like maybe I was like part autistic. I don't know, but
Uh-huh.
I was extremely sensitive, and I've had to like learn to navigate life
Mm-hmm.
in a graceful way. I think I've
Yeah,
somewhat managed.
it's definitely it's an adjustment, I think, for all of us. And something I was gonna touch on it earlier, but I forgot now. But yeah, it's a big adjustment, and I have memories of feeling like I don't belong here, like I want to go
Oh,
home, like this is
yeah, I want to go home.
me, like this is I don't like it. Like, yeah. Yep.
But do you have this, were you told that you have a mission here? I was given as a late teenager, early 20s, I had a lot of intense directives.
Like from inside yourself, kind of. Like it wasn't like a person telling you that, like that you
No,
can.
it's a whole nother show, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about that another time. And I'll get into more of like, what I was talking about because I have a really good idea who I was before this life.
Oh, can we talk about that on my show when I bring you on?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah.
Hey, um uh let's join each other again and I can talk about chakras and what I do with them to help people tap into that, counting the colors as a kid.
That's really
And
good.
I'll talk about my chakra venture and and what I do with my dance students and what maybe you can try at home just to be more aware.
Yeah.
So
Yes. Please.
so I really appreciate you having me on. I really appreciate um that we've kept I really appreciate that you kept in touch with me all these years.
Thank you.
You're always one of my dance kids that I love and that count as like very close to me in my heart. I think of you often, even if you don't always hear from me.
Yes, and I think of you often too. And we met at a great time in my life, and I always remember that, and just so much about that. And there's a lot of things I did, especially with belly dance, that I wouldn't have done if it wasn't for you, like out performing. And I just don't see that would have been a part of my life. So thank you.
Oh, you're a beautiful performer. We had fun, and we were lucky to have such good bands,
Yeah,
live
like
music, and
the
do
Buffalo
improv with
Bills and all
them.
that. Yeah. Oh
We
wow.
were very fortunate to have that.
I didn't realize it at the time, but as time went by and like other, things I would do with dance, I'm like, you know what? That was really amazing. And I knew it was then, but it's just, it, it just, I could really see it in hindsight.
Are you still up for dancing? Because I had one of the musicians we used to work with ask about a regular venue. Can I invite you into that group? Because he's always looking.
I might be, but I'm not right at this moment. But I did think about that. I think I know who you're talking about, and I think he kind of reached out at one point.
Okay.
I wasn't available, and I
Oh,
also
Bill. You mean
quite.
Bill?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, Bill
Yeah,
Casares. Yeah, from
I think it'd
Animus
be
and
great at some point, but I'm just not right
yeah.
now.
Because that's a nice. He's really lovely to work with. Well, thank you. And I will talk about the chakra world next time. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and I'll see you
Sure.
soon.
Yes, and everybody, make sure you go to her channel and subscribe, like the video, and I'm gonna have her website down below,
Yeah,
and
take class with me. Come and belly dance on Zoom with me. I have people
definitely.
from all over. I have a student from Toronto now,
Oh my
and I'm
goodness.
in Philly. Yeah, it's really
Okay,
fun.
that's awesome. You will love it. Like as you could see that little view we had of her space. Wait till you see like the dance space. You'll be amazed.
Oh yeah, I'll show you the dance space.
Okay,
All
great.
right, take care.
All right. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.